Hello, this is Danny from CG Dreams. Today we're going to be looking at the material for the hair, and in particular the setting of thickness used in conjunction with a map. For this intents and purposes, I've made my map in ZBrush, although you can easily do it within C4D. As you can see, the map is using different values of white to black. In this particular circle we've got the whitest point right in the middle, and it tapers off to a gradient to the deeper, darker areas finally going to black. The way this map works is that the pure white area is going to use the full thickness set by the thickness setting within the material, whereas as it goes off and tapers off, this is going to determine just how thin the hair gets. Finally, when it gets to black, there'll be zero hair. We've got other circles where they're more of a harder edge. This is going to result in the thickness to be exactly the same between in the white area and then none in the black area. So in essence, this can work very similar to what we can use in our density map. In fact, this works out a little bit better because we get a bit more better taper between where we want hair to show and where we want the fine lines to be tapering out, maybe thinner hairs that are going to appear that area. Of course, we can use a combination of two. Now you can see this map. Let's go back into C4D. Now the root is determining the setting in which the thickness is going to be at its most, and of course the tip is the thinnest point at which the tip's going to be, so nothing's changed there. The same thing with the curve, that works exactly as it does before. The difference is that the root thickness is going to be determined by the colour of this map, or the density of this map in the darker areas and the lighter areas. Let's just go for a quick render. You can clearly see from this that we've actually got a nice growth area here where there's primarily white areas, and where there's black there's zero hair. When we get a bit closer and we look at the edge here, you'll notice how the hair becomes thinner as it goes towards the darker values. You also notice that where we've got an area on the map where it's going from pure white to 100% black, that we've got the thickness appearing in those white areas 100%. Let's bring the root down to 0.5. Let's take the root to 0.1. And these are not settings that are going to work for everything. This is according to the scale of your object. And rather than taper it off to nothing, I'm going to allow it to have a little bit of thickness at the tip. You can clearly see the effect that we're getting from this. For the final test, what I'm going to do is I'm going to increase the number of hairs so that we can see just how well it's tapering off between the thickest areas and the thinner areas. I'm going to give it 120,000 hairs. If you use this in conjunction with the density map, what you're going to be able to do is you're going to be able to see visually in the viewport where the hairs are growing and where they're not growing. You're obviously going to be able to see visually in the viewport the guides that are restricted by the density map, And then finally, you're going to be seeing a nice tapered off effect between the thicker parts of the hair and the thinner parts of the hair, so that you're getting a much better hairline. So that's really it, what I'm going to be covering today regarding the thickness map that we can use. You can clearly see what kind of effect we're getting from this, which is really nice. I hope you found this short video useful and something that you can utilise in your setup when you're working with hair.